Welcome back to the Black and Gold Report. I'm Kevin Freeman. We're joined now by head men's soccer coach Phil Heinsohn. Coach, welcome back.
Thank you.
Let's talk about the Braves soccer team. You got your first Peach Belt win of the season against a pretty plucky Georgia Southwestern team. I'm sure you and your players are happy to get off the mark and get your first Peach Belt win after a couple of very tough encounters against North Georgia and Flagler to start the season.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad we won the game. We didn't play very well. I was not very happy. You know, we had a good 15 minutes later in the first half, but then, you know, I thought we would come out in the second half and kind of put the game away, and it just didn't happen. We were very poor, and it was very disappointing in the second half because they actually came at us, and if our back four didn't defend as well as they did in the day, we could have been in some problems, you know. So that it was disappointing, but you know, gladly we got the win, and hopefully we can correct a few things in practice.
Well, I'll follow up on that question here in a minute, but this is another tale of two halves for this team, and the men's soccer team seems to be able to do this a lot. The team started a little slow, but they picked up the pace midway through the first half. They had two quick goals just like that. And opportunities for more, and you had to be feeling pretty good at halftime with your team's aggression at that point.
Yeah, their goalkeeper made some really good saves as well. We hit the post. You know, even in the second half, he made some good saves, but it was just disappointing we didn't take advantage of that. And even more so, there's some guys that wanted to get in. I wanted to get Joe Cullip in the game as well, but when the game's so tight, we couldn't. So it's disappointment not only with the team, but also for the kids that didn't get to play.
Right. I have to point out, Coach, I usually go to every game, and I wasn't able to go to this one. I was watching it online, and I stepped away from my computer for literally 30 seconds to get a drink, and I turned around, and the game was 2-0. Your goals were that quick.
Yeah,
15 seconds apart, weren't they?
Yeah, one off a set piece, Stuart Rogers, and then Sean Hook scored from, I guess, close to 30 yards out.
Quite the goal there. The second half was another story, as you mentioned, though. The team came out pretty lethargic. They lacked a lot of urgency. Was this a product of complacency from just being ahead 2-0, or is this something else that you need to talk to them about?
I don't know. You know, dealing with kids, you never know. I mean, the thing I stress to them, the most important thing is consistency, and that's what we're striving to get to. You know, and we've become a lot more consistent. But again, we can't have situations like that happen, or it's going to bite us here pretty soon, you know.
Right, the good teams know how to deal with that kind of situation,
exactly.
and they'll score on you. You mentioned in your post-game interview that your back four, however, they had a very outstanding game. They only allowed 3 shots the entire game, only 1 on goal, if I remember correctly, against the Hurricanes. Talk a little bit in general about Sean and Stuart and Mike and Sid, as well as the goalkeeper Ryan. Does having such a solid back line give you some confidence that you're going to be in every single match?
Yeah, it does. I mean, our 2 centre backs, Mike and Stuart, have done very well. I mean, Payne was out injured, Sid's come in and done well, so it's kind of hard to change that right now. And Sean's been quite solid as well at left back. So you know, having them in there, I think the organisation does make it difficult for other teams. So yeah, we should be in every game. And
Mike, as the captain of the team, his senior leadership certainly at the centre back can't hurt things as well.
Yeah, he does well. He's very strong in the air. He wins a lot of aerial balls. So. No, I'm happy with it, but you know, ultimately to defend, you got to defend with 10 field players, and we didn't do that well, especially in the second half. So that caused a lot of problems.
And Mike's not a very tall fella, but I've noticed that he's able to use his head very well.
He's very aggressive. He wins. His timing's very good. So even if guys are 4 or 5 inches bigger than him, he can usually out-jump them.
Well, Sean Hook, he's been out of the lineup for the last couple of weeks with an injury. He was able to play against Georgia Southwestern. He scored one of the goals you mentioned. It definitely has to be good to have him back in the lineup.
Yeah, he gives us a big element going forward, you know, and when he got injured, we were a bit concerned because we weren't sure how that would, he was a big factor for us through the season, and, you know, we didn't know how we'd adapt, so we have adapted well, but now this should give us another extra, you know, really another level going forward, so hopefully as we go into these difficult games coming, you know, at us thick and fast now, it will make a big difference.
That many more weapons to use in your lineup. How's his fitness coming along? I know it takes a little while to rehabilitate.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting there, you know. He's not really where he needs to be, but, you know, we're just gradually going to take it, play him a little bit more each game until he gets 90-minute fit, you know.
Right. So what do you take from this game? What do you need to fix for the upcoming schedule of a lot of difficult Peach Belt teams, as you mentioned? What do you take from Georgia Southwestern?
I mean, our movement wasn't good enough. Our angles of support, all these things that I'm harping on every day, and our communication's a problem. You know, it really is. It's unfortunately in this country, a lot of the kids don't grow up. They're not taught this from a young age, and it becomes a problem. And it you know, it's like a vicious cycle. The lack of communication causes problems in other areas that it just kind of manifests. You know, so. We try and improve it, but it's tough for these kids because again they've been allowed to get away with things for so long through their youth that it's frustrating.
I've noticed this from other teams, and I'm curious if your team fits the bill on this as well. Do the international players, as a result, tend to be the loudest ones, the noisiest ones?
Usually, but even the international guys we have are not as loud as they should be, you know. But you know, I think it's just a product these days of the kids. You know, they don't take a lot of responsibility or as much as they should in a lot of areas, and it's I'm sure you see it in your class.
And as you say, communication is so important in soccer, being able to tell everybody,
exactly,
to know where everybody is, and part of that lies on the goalkeeper as well.
Yeah.
We're going to take our next break. When we come back, we'll finish off talking to Coach Heinsohn about the upcoming Peach Belt schedule, so stay tuned.